Hello, my name is Katya Veleva and I'm the director of Blush Cloud. We change the atmosphere. Now, just for the few seconds that I've been speaking to you, you've probably made a bunch of conclusions about me. That's all right, that's what we do. And really, I'm driving a fairly complicated vehicle over here. There's a lot of diversity packed up in a single person. You probably can't pinpoint my accent. You're probably wondering whether this is a tan or not. And there's a bunch of other things that you don't see. It can become a little bit too much to handle. But as an experienced professional, I know what to do when things become too much, right? You know what I'm gonna say. We can project manage the hell out of this, right? To make it easier. On Mondays and Tuesdays, I can be a woman. On Wednesdays and Thursdays, I'll be an immigrant. And then for the weekend, I can be queer, because you gotta pick the right days for these things, right? Right, just breaking things apart to make them easier. That would be great. Turns out, it doesn't exactly work this way. I happen to be all of those things all of the time. I live at the intersection of a queer immigrant woman. And this is what I want to talk to you about today: intersectionality. The term intersectionality was coined in the 80s by legal scholar Kimberly Crenshaw. She noticed that the specific issues that Black women were facing were not fully addressed by feminism, but they also didn't properly fit in the anti-racist movement either. In her own words, intersectionality is just a metaphor for understanding the multiple ways in which inequalities can compound themselves to create obstacles that are not fully understood by the conventional ways of thinking about anti-racism or feminism or whatever other social justice advocacy structures we have. Now, as human beings, this is what we do. We love to see patterns, and our brain is trained, it's wired to just finish those patterns that we see even though things are not there. We love tropes, we love templates, and sometimes we're so good at those things, we love them so much that we end up trying to fit things that don't necessarily fit in a template. The stories we keep telling each other, the most successful ones, the most memorable ones, often they just have a single point because that's easier to remember. It's easier to fit if there's fewer pieces to fit. But, you all know probably what a coming out story looks like. You probably all understand the structure of a social justice story. But how about a Black gay film? This is where you get some Oscar buzz. Now, intersectionality, it's an invitation to imagine people more complexly. It's a new prism that's more flexible and can allow for us to not have to force people into stories that are not their own. To me personally, intersectionality has given me an opportunity to see my own privileges so that then I can take power from them and use that when I need it, when oppressions also happen to me. Now, if you're interested in the topic, there'll be further information you can look into in the description of this video. Thank you so much for listening, and keep changing the atmosphere.